Hi, everybody. I'm Anjanette Levy. Thanks for coming on to my channel. If you're on the East Coast, Eastern Time, sorry it's so late, but I just arrived in Boise, Idaho, to cover the sentencing of Brian Kohberger for the murders of Maddie Mogen, Kaylee Gonsalves, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Kernodle. My flight was delayed this morning, and that just had a domino effect on the rest of my day. So I'm here much later than I expected. But I am here, and that's what it's important. And there are much bigger problems in the world. If you've never been here before, thank you so much for logging on and joining. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. Please hit that thumbs up button, give me a like, and please subscribe. We're trying to grow the little channel here, and we've grown quite a bit, and it's been really exciting. And it's all thanks to everybody who tunes in. I want to talk to you about the Maddie Soto murder case. Stephan Sterns, he pleaded no contest. He did not contest the murder charge today. So we all thought he would be pleading guilty. That didn't happen. I don't know why he decided or why his attorneys worked it out that he would plead no contest, meaning he doesn't contest the charge. But that's what happened. That obviously they have some strategy behind this. For whatever reason, they arranged that, but he did plead guilty to the capital sex crimes charges against Maddie, poor little Maddie Soto. So I'm just kind of wondering if you think that's justice, if Maddie got justice or not, because some people would say possibly that maybe she didn't, because this was so horrific. And we can now say that he did it. We knew the evidence was overwhelming. His sex crimes trial was supposed to begin this week. Jury selection was scheduled to start this week in the sex crimes trial, and then the murder trial was going to be starting in September. And the state was seeking the death penalty. And in the state of Florida, they no longer need a unanimous jury of 12 to get the death penalty. I'm not sure it's going to be determined to be constitutional, but ever since the Parkland shooting, there was a big uproar about that because it takes just one juror to say, hey, I can't go for the death penalty. So then the person gets life in prison without parole, the defendant. But in this case, if there ever was a case where, no matter how you feel about capital punishment, and I know there are people who support it, I know there are people who do not, but this is a case where we had a girl who was 13 years old for no time at all. She had celebrated her 13th birthday the evening before with her grandparents. Her birthday was days prior. And she was murdered in the middle of the night, sent upstairs to sleep in bed with Stephan Sterns for how many, God only knows how many times, by her mother, the one person in this world who is supposed to protect her. I mean, give me a break. Now, I do want to tell you that after the sentencing, the state attorney, I'm sure, realizing the backlash and the outcry about this, because Maddie was sexually battered by Stephan Sterns for years. This went on for years. There were more than 1,700 videos and photographs of Maddie Soto found on Stephan Sterns' Google Drive of him doing all kinds of things to Maddie. Think about that. She was 8.5 years old when this started. So this is what she knew. By somebody who was brought into her life by her mother. And it's all on video. and pictures. And God only knows what he was doing with that material. It was on his Google Drive, and it was also, I'm sure somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, but it was also on his hard drive, I believe, on one of the computers. And we still have a lot of questions. Why on earth? First of all, why on earth was Stephan Sterns doing this to Maddie, abusing her like this? And second of all, why did he kill her? The prosecutors may know the answer to that question. I told you about, if you saw the live yesterday, there was that whole, and I can do a deeper dive on this. I know a lot of you are interested in this, a deeper dive on this at a later time. But there was that text exchange between Stephan and Maddie, and they had blacked out Maddie's name. They had redacted her name, but Florida's a sunshine state, so we get a lot of records. We get the discovery in the state of Florida after it's been turned over to the defense. And Maddie had sent Stephan Sterns that text message about two sides of a coin. And it was his mommy's turn, daddy's turn coins. It's like these coins that parents buy for each other. It's mom's turn to do something. It's dad's turn to do something, this type of thing. And so that's kind of, and there was a lot of talk with her mother when law enforcement questioned her about when Maddie was last on her menstrual cycle and whether or not she had indeed been on her, had that. I'm trying to abide by all the YouTube rules and all of that stuff, but there's sensitivities and all of that stuff. Whether or not she had gotten her period that February. Remember, she goes missing at the end of February. Missing. So let's look at a little bit of this hearing, because we all expected Stephan Sterns to enter a guilty plea, but instead he pleaded no contest to the murder charge. And again, it means he's not contesting the charge. He's saying, yeah, you got me. I'm not gonna fight it. But he's not saying I'm guilty. I did it. So he's not contesting it. It's similar to a guilty plea. I mean, it's basically the same thing, essentially. But I did get a text message from somebody, as we were a trusted source, who did say to me, no contest is sometimes done to prevent automatic civil liability that a guilty plea would get you. That is interesting. That's an interesting point. However, I don't think Stephan Sterns has anything to go after. I mean, he's got those dumb little trinkets that he stored at his parents' house. Those tchotchkes things. I forget what they were called. And, watching Stephan Sterns today during this hearing, he's like, okay, he's okay. He's okay. If you listen to the jail calls, even back when he was first arrested with his mom and dad, he's okay. He's resigned to the fact that he's going to be in jail. He's, but he's trying to say other people killed Maddie, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, his mom sounded convinced of it for a short time, and then she kind of came around. But it was very, looking at him, I'm going to tell you what I think at the end of this live. But I want you to see a little bit, and we can take a deeper dive, as I said, into this sentencing and into the case and why it's so disturbing. as a parent, I know how important it is to protect your children and to keep your children safe. And especially in the work that I do and the job that I do every day. Like I know where my kid is. I know who he's with. You have one job as a parent. You have a couple of jobs actually as a parent. You have many jobs as a parent, but your number one job is to protect your child. And part of that is ensuring the people they are around are safe for them to be around. And I'm not indicting anybody. I'm just saying you don't let your child sleep in the same bed with a man who's not their father. Like kids will sleep in bed with their parents. That happens. So here's Stephan Sterns being talked to by the judge, being questioned by the judge about the charges he faces and about whether or not he's changing his plea and it's voluntary. These are all pretty standard things.
9-3 would be life in prison without possibility of parole. Has the maximum sentence been explained to you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And 24 CF 632 counts 1 through 8. The maximum potential sentence would be a mandatory sentence of life in prison without possibility of parole. 9 through 13 and 14 through 20 would be first-degree felony allegations with a maximum potential sentence of up to life in prison. You understand those maximum potential sentences on that case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that you have a right to have a jury trial as to each of these allegations? And at the jury trial, the state of Florida would have to prove those allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt. At that trial, your attorneys would be with you. They are experienced, board-certified criminal expert trial attorneys. They would be cross-examining witnesses, examining the evidence against you. You would have a right to present your own witnesses and your own evidence. If you had witnesses that did not want to come to court, you could have asked me to make them come to court with a subpoena. You could have spoke at your trial, or you could have exercised your right to remain silent and not spoken. That would have been your decision after you talked those decisions over with your attorneys, and your jury would have been instructed not to consider your decision to remain silent in any way in rendering a verdict. You would have had a right to have your trial recorded and appeal any errors that occurred in the process. Do you understand you are giving up all of your trial rights if the court accepts this plea? Because I will be imposing the sentence that you have agreed with the state of Florida to be imposed upon you, and we will not be having a trial on any of these matters. Do you understand those things?
I understand.
And, Your Honor, just for record purposes, counts 9 through 13 are first-degree felonies punishable by life, as the court indicated. Count 14 through 20 are actually life felonies.
These are life felonies with a minimum mandatory of 25 years. Is life a required sentence, or would that be a punishable by life offense?
It's a life punishable by life offense. I just wanted the record to be clear. The court indicated first-degree felonies punishable by life. I just wanted the record to be clear that 14 through 20 are life felonies with 25-year minimum mandatories.
So this lead form indicates that these are first-degree felonies. These are actually either capital offenses or punishable by life offenses. Do you understand that, Mr. Sterns?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is anyone forcing you or pressuring you into make the decision to resolve your case this way?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone made you any other promises other than what has been presented to you as the agreed-upon sentence?
No, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or mental issues that cause you not to understand the decision that you are making?
I am not.
Do you understand if you are not a United States citizen, that entry of this plea would subject you to deportation proceedings?
Yes.
If you ever before had been convicted of a sexually violent or a sexually motivated offense, entry of this plea would have subjected you to involuntary civil commitment at the conclusion of any incarcerative sentence. Do you understand that's the state of Florida law?
Yes.
Ms. Smith, do you have any competency concerns regarding Mr. Sterns' fitness to accept this plea agreement?
No,
Ms. Borden?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Stearns, based on your responses to the court, based on your indicating that you have reviewed this decision with your attorneys, based on your initialing of the plea form and your acknowledgement that you understand all the terms and conditions, rights and obligations on these plea forms, including the addendum, the court is going to make a determination that you are alert, that you have had an opportunity to discuss this with your attorneys, that you are making this decision freely and voluntarily and without coercion. The court accepts your plea. Let me see the attorneys.
Of course, we have a little bit of a sidebar or whatever that goes on. We'll fast forward to that, but we'll get to the maddening moment when we come back. They show the gallery. Maddie's mom was not there that I could see at all. I've been traveling all day, so please somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I do not believe she was there. And then, oh, so sorry, guys. Here we go. Let's
1, 2, 9, 3. First degree premeditated murder of Madeline Soto. Mr. Stearns, how do you plea to first degree premeditated murder in 24 CF 1293?
No contest.
And as to counts 1 through 8, capital sexual battery of Madeline Soto while she was under the age of 12. Counts 9 through 13, sexual battery of Madeline Soto between the ages of 12 and 18. And counts 14 through 20, lewd or lascivious molestation. How do you plead?
Guilty.
Prior to sentencing, does the state care to offer any victim impact testimony?
So he pleads no contest to the murder charge. This was premeditated first degree murder. He comes up from Northport, Florida, where he had been living with his parents. Jen, Maddie's mother, started this new job at Disney and I guess needed him to help her allegedly watch Maddie because she needed her rest and she was starting this new job and she was doing some training and stuff like that. That's the how the story went. And she was going to bed and she sent them upstairs to bedroom 4. And then Maddie, the last time Maddie comes down those steps, she is no longer alive. So let's fast forward to the victim impact statement of Maddie's father, her biological father who lives in a different state. He's right here, Tyler Wallace.
Can you let the court know your names?
My name is Tyler Wallace.
Tatiana Wallace.
Tyler, what's your relationship to Madeline Soto?
Madeline Soto is my daughter.
Go ahead.
Madeline Soto was my daughter. She was happiness. She was a joy to be around. She was quirky and intelligent. She was curious. A little forgetful like me too. That happens sometimes, but I just loved her so much. And I was not able to be in her life as much as I would like to, due to circumstances and choices I'd made, due to the way finances worked. I was strained in my relationship with my daughter, and that was finally getting better. The last time I saw her was in October of 2023, and she had come to visit for a few days. And when I took her back to the airport, I said, you're turning 13 soon. When you turn 13, you have a choice of which guardian you're interested in staying with. Would you like to stay with me and talk to you? And she said, yes, that she would. And so I was this close to having my little girl, sir. Because of the actions of this depraved man, I will never meet the woman she was becoming. And I can't grasp it. I can't grasp the selfishness of you, the deplorability of your actions. You're depraved. You're weak. You're a coward. You're a sneak thief. You crept into a family and took advantage and exploited them when they were weak. It's torn my family apart. It's led to arguments about who can go where and who can get what and who can help who, but we're all on edge because it doesn't heal with time. This isn't like other deaths that I've experienced. This just gets worse. It just gets worse every time I rethink about it and the true horror of what this man visited upon her. And I can only hope that he lives a long time in prison and has those same horrors revisited upon him by his fellow inmates. Thank you.
It has no further witnesses.
And then, and we're scrolling through this really quickly, everybody, because we can go through it more another time and do, more of a deep dive into the case. But then Stephan Sterns speaks. And to me, this was somewhat shocking. I haven't actually seen it. I've only read it. I read the quote. He actually wanted to say something. So let's listen to what Stephan Sterns had to say, the man who pleaded no contest. He's not contesting that he murdered Maddie. So here we go.
As a condition of your agreement with the state of Florida, you are agreeing not to appeal the pretrial rulings of the court. State anything else? That's anything else? Thank you. Let's place Mr. Sterns under, he's been previously placed under oath.
Yes, Your Honor, I would like to make a brief statement. I agree that it's not fair that Madeline is not here anymore. I still have a hard time contemplating a world where she's not around, a world which feels less vibrant and less colorful than it did before. I've prayed to God countless times to trade places with her, to take me instead. And unfortunately, that's just not how he works. I have nothing but sorrow for her loss, and I miss her all the time. Her passing has torn me and my family apart as well, and she truly was a joy. I pray to God that she is in heaven and that he's taking good care of her. And I hope she gets to join the choir because she had a beautiful voice. I will miss her all the time. I will never not honor her memory. And I apologize for all the pain.
Anything further? Defense? Conclude our plea and sentencing hearing. We'll be in recess.
The judge was like, I've heard enough. The judge is like, I don't need to say anything. I've heard enough. Get this guy out of my courtroom. Now look at this guy. They bring him back in. You know what I think? Her passing. Maddie didn't pass away. Maddie Soto didn't pass away. She was murdered. You pass away when you're sick and you're in a bed dying, or you're old and you've lived a full life. That's what I think of as somebody passing away. I do not think of a little girl who just turned 13 being strangled to death. That is not passing away. That's him trying to dissociate and push in. He's dissociating and trying to not he's trying not to accept responsibility. And it's about him, how it's torn his family apart. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's what you had to say for yourself. And look at this guy. You know what this guy did? He saw the writing on the wall, and I wouldn't be surprised if he saw what Koberger did. Oh, well, that guy in Idaho, he went to the state and said, hey, I'll plead guilty. And wow, he probably thinks in his mind what that guy did is way worse than what I did. And look what they took the death penalty off the table. And you know what? this whole jail prison life thing is not so bad. They feed me every day. I get my books. I ask my parents to send me books and they send me books. So I'm cool with this. He's probably thinking this is better than when I was on the outside because I don't have to like do anything. I mean, that's kind of how I'm reading Stephan Sterns. To me, he is a 3 hots and a cot kind of guy. I mean, I think even Maddie said he was always hanging around the house, not doing anything, if I remember from reading all the police reports. And I've read every one of them. It's been a while because it's, you know, when we got them, I think it was last summer, I read the 900 pages. I read every document we got. He's a 3 hots and a cot kind of guy. So he's like, okay. He's okay with it. That is Stephan Sterns. He's a 3 hots and a cot kind of guy. He's looking pathetic there, feeling a little sorry for himself. Hug your children, everybody, and protect your children. Mindy _22, thank you for the super chat. Sterns ended with, I'm sorry for the pain. Not that he caused it, just the pain. His whole statement makes me sick. He didn't take responsibility in that statement at all. I would be really interested to see whether or not the prosecutors, even though they had him dead to rights, they had him. This was a slam dunk as far as I'm concerned. This was a slam dunk. This was totally a slam dunk. It doesn't get much more slam dunk than this. Maddie, just so you guys know, Maddie's family apparently supported this. So let's, if you're just joining, please give me a thumbs up, like and subscribe. I want to show you the statement that this state attorney sent out. The state attorney of Orange and Osceola counties, Monique Worrell, she sent out a statement about this plea agreement. She obviously must feel like she's feeling some heat. And somebody was texting me earlier that DeSantis is probably going to be furious about this, but there's nothing he can do because, I mean, there's a separation of powers. As I said earlier, when I did the live from the airport about Trump talking about Koberger, there's a separation of powers. That's how our system works. But the state attorney says that Maddie's family supported this deal, and I can see why, honestly. And I was actually speaking, the docket's here moderating for me. Thank you so much, the docket. The docket, and I think we texted about this the other day, about her family having to sit and see all of these horrible images. Can you imagine? So here's the statement from the state attorney, Monique Worrell. I want to extend my deepest let me start that over. I want to extend my deepest condolences to the Soto family and everyone who loved Madeline. Her life was stolen in a senseless act of violence, and the pain of that loss is immeasurable. While nothing we can do, I'm so sorry, guys. While nothing we do can bring Madeline back, I hope her family finds some measure of peace, knowing that justice has been served. The individual responsible, there's one individual, the individual responsible has been sentenced to 21 concurrent life sentences and will never walk free again. He has also waived all of his rights to appeal, ensuring finality and sparing the family from reliving this trauma in courtrooms for years to come. Our office conducted a meticulous review of this case, and every step we took was in close consultation with Madeline's family. This outcome reflects their wishes. It holds the accused fully accountable while also protecting the family from further anguish. We remain committed to seeking justice in a way that centers on victims and honors the lives that are taken far too soon. Now, this means the family does not have to sit through a trial where they hear all of these nasty details and they see these disgusting images. I mean, they are spared that. And maybe they wanted this over with, because let's say if they got, they get to the homicide case, the sex abuse stuff, slam dunk, major slam dunk, that would not have taken long at all for a jury to come back with a conviction on that case, because it's all there on video. She's a little girl with a grown man doing all these horrible things. If the jury would have given him a death sentence if he were convicted of the homicide, and guys, God only knows, who knows if they were worried about the homicide case for whatever reason. We don't know. But it seems like, his DNA was on her body. He's seen change in the tire out at the farm where her body was found. They would go through decades of appeals. Florida does not play, as we know. They do not play. But they would still go through decades of appeals. So everybody, I think I'm going to wrap it up for the night. I really appreciate you hopping on with me for a little bit. I thought we should, because we talked about this yesterday, I should come back on and talk about it a little bit tonight. But I think we need to talk about this case a little more. I'm wondering, Mom wasn't there. She's never been charged with any type of crime related to this. No child endangering, nothing. There's never been any talk about that. She had some type of immunity agreement so they could sit down and talk to her. If she hadn't been truthful, then she could have been in some trouble. But she wasn't at the sentencing today. So I just kind of think to myself, is there more that we don't know about? I don't know. But I just, as I said earlier, I hope Maddie is having birthday parties up in the sky. And she's able to be a little girl. As I said again, I'm in Boise, Idaho. Part of me wants to take you over to the window and show you the beautiful view. I have a beautiful view from here, I'll take you guys over. I've got my laptop here. Not to make you dizzy, but the mountains are stunning here. Here for the Brian Kohberger sentencing. I'll have more to talk about with that. This doesn't even do it justice, but really beautiful. I'm in downtown Boise, Idaho. But I just wanted to show you my beautiful view. But I really need, well, let me open the window, actually. Sorry, guys. But then I really need to eat dinner and do some work. But here, look how beautiful it is out here. It's really stunningly beautiful, especially when you fly in. The mountains are beautiful. So I have work to do. I'll be putting together a crime fix for law and crime on the Maddie Soto plea hearing. And I need to eat dinner. And then I will be working on other things about the Kohberger, the Idaho 4 case. The sentencing is on Wednesday. And, I'm working on some stuff, trying to get some stuff together. for you. We'll have live coverage on Wednesday on Law and Crime, so please tune in. I will post the link once it's ready, and we will. I gotta eat some dinner, and my expensive snack from earlier just didn't get it done. So thank you so much to the docket for helping me out moderating tonight. And Monty's here. Monty's in the house. Thanks so much. It's very sweet of you guys. I know it's late, and I'm tired. I know you're tired. And thanks everybody for tuning in. But we'll talk more about this case another time because I think it's a really important case. And I just think there are still some questions that we need answered. So there are still questions in this case, in Maddie's case. Don't forget that. So thanks, everybody. Have a great night, and I will see you soon. Take care.